You just found out that Ruger launched a brand new Ruger American Rifle Gen 2, promising a ton of really good features. And you decided, hey, you know what? My favorite gun tuber, Mr. Ruger Guns, aka Slav Guns, must absolutely have the video on it already. But I don't. In fact, I don't have one. Yet. Yes, Mr. Ruger Guns himself does not yet have one of those rifles, but in this video we are absolutely going to take a look at all of the new features, what you need to know, and discuss whether it's worth possibly upgrading from your existing Gen 1 rifle. But before we look at the rifle, this video is sponsored by us, Slav Guns. For if you want to support the channel and you absolutely want to rock some of the merch, do take a look at our website where we have brand new listed these awesome patches. These are roughly 4.5 by 4.5 inches. These are going to be limited. So once these are out, these are absolutely out. They are not going to be any new. They are obviously going to poke fun of our Slavic heritage. They are glow in the dark and totally awesome. Now, they might be a little too big for a hat, but these are great for a jacket, range bag, or your patch wall. Also, you can pick up some of our channel stickers. We do have two different types. We have our traditional one, and then we also have one with our channel QR code. When Ruger launched the Ruger American Rifle, they made a completely really good, awesome gun. Now, these guns are not going to be the nicest fit and finish, and I don't think anyone can seriously argue that point. However, what these guns are rugged, reliable, and stupid accurate for a factory gun. However, it did leave a few options on the table, such as number one is the standard rifles did not come with a threaded barrel. So you would have to go with something like this, which is the Predator model, which is going to come with a polymer stock, a threaded barrel, and more importantly, it's going to be fairly accurate. However, there were plenty of things on this gun that people would always change out. And if you watched any of our videos, you've seen how we've taken one of these and turned it into a gun that legit looks like a precision rifle. And if you think about it, a lot of these rifles are very closely related to the very nice Ruger Precision rifles. So there were a couple of points on this gun that Ruger did address in the Gen 2 rifle. So let's take a look at those on the website. So the way you can find it, you can go to rifles and go to new models and it'll be there, or you can actually just go under all. You see Ruger American Rifle Generation 2. So when you click on it, it is going to show you the two models that are going to be currently available. So what's interesting is the Ruger American Rifle is available in 5 or 6 different variants, everything from your standard all the way to the Hunter models, which are going to come with a Magpul Hunter stock. Generally, when people were asking for recommendations for a Ruger American, I would tell them avoid the standard model because it's not going to come with a threaded barrel, and go either for the Predator or the Hunter model. They also have the Go Wild models, which were Cerakote with a bronze finish, definitely made for hunting. They also came with a Cerakoted type stock with a camo pattern, and definitely those were fairly nice guns as well. However, it was still the same stock. So when it comes to Ruger Americans, there's generally, I would say, 3 issues that you're going to find with them. Number one is the stock itself. The stock is not great. It is polymer. It is functional. However, it's going to lack length of pull and comb height adjustment. So they did have some youth models that are available, so that was good. However, depending on the type of scope you're putting on, you would have to work up your position. So that was number one. Number two was the bolt itself. There's really 2 things wrong with the bolt. Number one, you had a very zipper type finish unless you really worked out the bolt. And number 2, it would rust. Over time, if you got any humidity on it, you would have to give it a surface type polish in order to remove the rust. So with these models, really when I found out about them and I was speaking with my contact at Ruger, he basically mentioned that the upgrades were going to be in 2 different categories. Number one, the upgrades were going to be fit and finish, and number 2, the upgrades were going to be more ergonomics. So we're definitely excited about that. So as we can see for launch, Ruger has 2 different models. They have the standard and the ranch. So the ranch is going to be the shorter barreled ones, which are going to be let's say with magazines, these are going to be like your ranch hand type ones. They're going to be available in more calibers. Definitely really, really cool guns. And then you're going to have your standard. Now, the biggest surprise, for me at least, is that the standard model is far and above much more than what I expected to see. So keep in mind with Ruger, with the standard model, you literally had a cheap stock with a functional barrel and it wasn't threaded. With this one, as you can see, immediately the stock really stands out and you have a muzzle brake on it, which means that it's definitely going to be threaded. So as we scroll down, it's going to highlight all of the main features and the differences with the Gen 2 models. So you're going to have a splattered finished stock. Provides excellent grip without being too abrasive. Now, if this is anything like the types of finish, the speckled finish that they have on the laminate wood stocks with the Ruger long-range Hunter models or the Hawkeye long-range targets, this is definitely going to be really, really, really nice. The other aspect, as you can see, is that the stock is definitely different. So it looks like you have a little bit different contours on the forend, but the big changes are towards the back of the stock. And number one is they have an installed low comb. So your comb height is going to be adjustable, so you can remove it if you want, or you can put it back on. And you do have adjustable length of pull on here as well. We're going to skip back to the position safety. The other thing that they did was the entire gun right now, the barrel, the muzzle brake, the receiver, and the bolt handle are going to be Cerakote finish. So this will definitely make the gun even more rugged and reliable and definitely adds it and looks a lot better. Beyond that, they did add a functional upgrade onto here. And what that is going to be now, it's a 3-position safety. So Ruger Americans had a tank safety, but there were 2 positions. So you can either open the bolt and fire, or it was basically unsafe. So now you have a 3-position safety, which people are definitely going to love. So you have one of the positions is going to be ready to fire and you can run the bolt. Number 2 is bolt is locked and the gun is saved, and then bolt, it's safe, but you can run the bolt as well. I know also people who are going to be hunters and you're out in the woods and you're worried about your bolt coming open, you can lock it down for that. So it's definitely a big plus. Then the other thing that they did is they did change the bolt handle on this as well. So this was something that was available already in the Ruger Precision rifles, where you're able to swap out the bolt knob. However, on the Ruger Americans, they have like this one little dinky type handle. And for people who are shooting, I would say there's just as many people, if not more, using these guns for target shooting rather than hunting. So by being able to swap out the bolt handle to something a little bit better, that's definitely going to be nice. So it's threaded 5/16 by 24, which is going to be standard for bolt knobs. So you'll be able to go on Anarchy Outdoors and find a really nice bolt knob of your choice. I personally prefer the Dragon Scale. Then the other thing I notice on here is that at the bottom of the bolt knob, there looks like an Allen socket in there. So you'll be able to remove it by sticking an Allen key in there and getting it off, instead of having to completely change it. Now, what is not here, however, it was told to me, is that the bolt now is completely stainless steel. I expect it to be a little bit better, so there's not going to be that zipper type finish. And beyond that, what some people had questions on was whether you're going to be able to reuse a lot of the stuff. So from the looks of it, and I'm waiting to get confirmation, but it looks like the trigger is going to be reusable, and it also, so if you have an aftermarket trigger, that will work. And if you have an aftermarket stock or chassis, that will work as well. Now, the one change that isn't explicitly listed on here, but you can definitely see, is that the barrels are now spiral fluted for a lot of the calibers. So it definitely adds a lot of style to it, but it is also going to be functional. So it's functional in 2 different ways. So number 1, with the fluting, what you're doing by removing some of the mass out of there, it is going to reduce the weight. At the same time, by making those flutes in there, you're also increasing the surface area, so it should dissipate the heat a little bit faster as well. Now, granted, because the barrel is now lighter, it is going to heat up a little bit more. However, it's going to drop the heat because you do have more surface area, so it works both ways. So this is the standard one, and I'm super excited about this model. Definitely very nice. I mean, essentially, it looks like what the Predator model was is now going to be the standard one. When we're looking, so let's look at the Ranch. So the Ranch looks like basically same type of gun, except it's now going to feature shorter 16-inch barrels, and it's going to have a cobalt Cerakote finish on the receiver and the barrel and the muzzle brake, and it's going to be fitted in a flat dark earth stock. So that is going to be the difference with those. So let's take a look at the caliber. So let's go back to the standard. So at launch, and these guns are already, or they should be available at distributors right now. Now the question is whether your local dealer is going to be able to get one from a distributor, because typically what happens is when you have a new model that comes out, unless you're a bigger dealer, the distributors are not going to send you a lot of those guns. So it's one of the issues with a two-tier distribution system that you sometimes run into versus having a dealer go directly to the manufacturer. So looking at caliber choices, basically it's going to be the ones that we expect. 6.5 Creedmoor, 308 Winchester, and actually one of the first things that I'm noticing is that take a look at the magazine type. It says AI style. So you should be able to just stick in a 5 or 10 round AICS pattern magazine, and that's going to be awesome. And you don't need to make any changes, and you don't have to use the original spiral mags. Moving down, you're going to have 7mm 08 and 243 Winchester, once again AI style, 20-inch barrels. And then we're also going to have 450 Bushmaster and 204 Ruger. So one of the things that I immediately notice on the 450 Bushmaster is the barrel is not going to be fluted. And that's because I'm assuming they're going to be using close to the similar blanks. And if you start fluting that, there's not going to be enough barrel there left. And then we're going to have 223, which is fantastic. I mean, that sounds like a joy. So, and that takes 20-inch barrel. All of them are 20-inch barrel, and it's going to be 10 round capacity AR style magazines. So 204 AI, so that's definitely really, really cool. Now, one of the ways that Ruger has generally worked with these stocks, and let me see, so I can see it on here. It's the same stock blank, but they have different inserts in here. So, I mean, look at this. Look at this goodness. It's not the rotary magazine. It's an actual AI style mag. Awesome. Thank you, Ruger. It might actually kill a lot of aftermarket stock sales, to be honest. Okay, so 6.5 Creed, 308, 708, 243, 450 Bushy, 204, and 223. But wait, there's more. Coming in Q1 to 2024, 350 Legend, 400 Legend. This might be the first 400 Legend I've seen. 6mm ARC. Wow, finally. 6.5 Grendel, fantastic. 6 Creed, 30-06, 270 Winchester, 300 Win Mag, 6.5 PRC, 7 PRC, and wait, hold on. I know I'm wearing glasses now, but yes, it does say 22 ARC. So it is listing them for coming Q1 2024. I did ask one of my contacts at Ruger. I would say it's coming, but I'm not sure when in Q1 that is going to be. And I guess it's really going to be based on the demand and everything that we're going to have on there. So now, and all of these are going to have an MSRP of $729. So now let's take a look at the Ranch configurations. So Ranch, we're going to have 5.56, 300 Blackout, 7.62 by 39, which uses mini 30 mags. I do wish they used AR style magazines, because you do have plenty of good 7.62x39 magazines that do work well. 450 Bushy looks like it's a proprietary single stack magazine. Then we're going to have 350 Legend, 400 Legend, 22 ARC, 6 ARC, 6.5 Grendel, and 6.5 Creedmoor. Very, very cool. It's awesome. I mean, it's everything that somebody could potentially be asking for. So it has an MSRP of $729, and let's compare that to the Ruger American Rifle. So let's say ranch for ranch, $669. So it is going to be a little bit of an increase. Predator is, so depending on the model, is going to be $619 to $709. So it does look like it's going to be a little bit more. So definitely very cool. So the only thing that I haven't seen yet is going to be left-handed models. I'm sure it's going to come in some time. We'll probably have a compact model, I would say. The Hunter models might come a little bit later time, and I'm sure we're going to have some that are going to come with rifle scopes. Now, the Go Wild, I'm assuming it's going to come, but it's going to come a little bit later on as well. So definitely it's going to be good. I am really excited about these guns. So here's the standard. So the $599, it's an increase from $599 to $729 for the new standard. However, it is absolutely a much more feature-packed gun. Purely the fact that it comes with AI style magazines. It's going to come fretted, it's going to come fluted, it's going to come Cerakoted. Tons of different options. Will these be as cheap as a Savage Axis? Probably not anymore. What I am going to have a question on is whether these are the Gen 1s, if they're going to remain, because what we're basically going to be left with, because we are going to have the Ruger Americans Gen 2 at $729 MSRP, so this purely makes it compete with the CZ600s, the Savage 110s, the Remington 700s, rather than how the Ruger American was kind of positioned a little bit earlier, which was smack in the middle between a Savage Axis and a Savage 110. So now it looks like the 110 has moved up market. So really that's going to leave the question, okay, well, is Ruger potentially going to come out with an even cheaper model to compete with the Savage Axis? That's going to be a good question. And perhaps are they possibly going to do what Savage has done with the Stevens models and have an imported model? That'll be good to see in the future as well, but definitely an exciting time. So this is the audience participation part. I need you to smash the like button, and I need you to comment and tell me what calibers we should ask for in these guns. Whether it's going to be, I think we're going to get a Predator and a Standard, so we can do a side-by-side comparison, and we'll definitely be comparing it to the Savage, I'm sure we'll be comparing it to the Savages, but we'll be comparing it to the Gen 1 model as well, and seeing just to make sure all the parts compatibility is going to work as well. Let me know on the caliber choices. I would say on the Standard model, because I will absolutely do a 6 ARC and a 22 ARC as soon as those are out. But I'm thinking 5.56 might be really cool. Or maybe, actually, we'll just do a 7.62x39. Maybe, because that should be out now. And in the regular one, the Standard, I guess we'll just do 6.5 Creedmoor, but if you want to see something else, let me know. So let's say here's the choices I would give you. 6.5 Creed, 308, or 204 Ruger. That could be fun. Or 223. I'm guessing probably 6.5 Creedmoor. But I don't know. Who knows? Let me know. And obviously, if you want to help support the channel and help support these endeavors, do go to luxgun.com. That is our website. You can find our patches. You can find our stickers. And we do have some other awesome products that we definitely stand behind that you'll be available to purchase as well. As always, thank you for watching. Keep on squatting, and I will see you in the next video linked up here.